need a taste of paradise, so won't you come with me? Feel the sunshine on my soul and set me free. I've had enough of gray skies, I've had enough of rain. Underneath the shining sun, I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vinny Appice!
I don't hear any applause, but I'm thanking you for being here anyway, you guys. I really appreciate it. And it's Tuesday, Vinny's Drum Shop. Something's buzzing. I think it's the fan. Yes, it is. And welcome to the last day of November, right after Turkey and all that stuff. And luckily, I didn't really enjoy the turkey this year. I don't know. It was a weird brand. And it didn't, I don't know, it's a little chewy. So I didn't really go for the leftover things. It was good on the day, but we had the whole family here. It was nuts. And Marco, my friend Marco Minimum, came over, and we were jamming on some bongos and stuff and played these drums a little bit. And it was fun. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving as well, and some good food and good fun. And today, this is the this is the cocktail kit. And this is a great little kit. I think it sounds fantastic. And I haven't played live with it because it's a bit small, but I have recorded with it, and it sounds great. I mean, I think it sounds great through Facebook. If you're not breaking up. Bass drum. And this is a really cool little kit. It's a great practice kit if you can't have big giant drums in your house, or for drummers starting out. Fantastic kit, you know. And this is going to be on sale. Go on the sawtoothworld.com on the app and all that, and I believe it's going to be down to $2.99 for this exact kit. And the kit is a 13-inch snare drum. This is poplar wood, same wood that's made of the Command Series that's sitting over there. Command Series poplar wood, and this is a 13 by 5 snare drum, 10 by 10 tom-tom. And then the bass drum's a 16 by, I believe it's an 18. Let's see. Yes, it could be an 18. Or could that be a 16? I think it's 16. Drumsticks are usually around 16 inches. That's a good piece of information if you're stuck somewhere. You need to measure something. Take out your drumstick, right? System. So this is a great kit. This is a 14 by, I believe, 16 tom-tom. So check it out on sawtoothworld.com. And the only tweaks I got going here, I got some reverb on the overhead mics, and I got a little bit of a sub speaker on the bass drum. And what I did was just, I had so many monitors, studio monitors, and they're kind of getting old, had a couple of them, so I took the woofer out. Just wired a jack XLR cable to it. I wired it correctly, so it's in phase. And that's sitting in front of the bass drum. And then in the bass drum's a 91 Shure. So it's giving a little bit more bottom end. Right? And the reverb. Gives it a nice, big crunchy sound. Check it out online. It comes in different colors. This is the flaming red. I like this color. It looks good. The kit looks bigger than it really is on the picture as I'm looking at it. That bass drum looks like it's 20 feet long. Look at that. It's crazy. This cymbal seems to be big too. This is only an 18. But it's just the camera, weird angles and stuff. So I did a little bit of a master class for Rock Fantasy Camp last night, and we get a lot of focus on fast foot, especially if you one bass drum, right? And and it's funny because going down to this little bass drum, it's even faster than pushing a 24 that I usually use, you know. So we were talking about the pedal thing and the foot thing and the whole thing with your fast foot. So what I explained, and I've explained this before on some of the shows, but I'll show you a couple of things for because I get in some emails too about how do you get your foot so fast, you know. And I never went to play double bass. I did only one time, and it was only for a couple of months, and then I gave up on it when I was really young, you know, probably like 14, 15. Then I stayed with one bass drum, and I thought. Then I heard Bonham. I went, hey, one bass drum. Mitch Mitchell, Ian Pace. You know, and my brother was using double bass. So I didn't want to be a copycat, you know. So the trick to this stuff is, first of all, you got to have the pedal set up too. If the pedal's not set up correctly, it's going to be hard to get fast on it, you know. So my pedal is the footboard's about in the middle. It's not too low where there's no stroke. It's about in the middle. And the spring tension is tight, almost like 4 threads from the top. It's tight, and that way I get. I'll show you. You can get a rebound. This is always iffy when I take stuff apart while I'm going live. Come on. This is a Chromacast pedal too. This is a great pedal. These things go on sale every now and then, and it's a great price for a really fast pedal, strong pedal too. So you see the board's in the middle, but the spring is tight, and what's happening is when I press it, look at the energy kicking back. You know, this pedal's ready to hit it again. Look, you know, that's one slap. My hand, one push, and it's going back already. If you have it really loose, you can hit it, and it's going to go like, you know, grandpa. So this is the way this is set up. And then the beater here, you can see that it's not flush. Usually on the 24-inch bass drum, it's flush. This is hitting in the middle of the drum. You should aim for the middle of the drum. And what else can I say? This is it. Make sure everything's tight. And that's the way it's set up. But I could feel the energy in this pedal. You know, look at, you know, it just wants to spring back really quick and gives you a lot of speed. Let me put this back. I did it. All right. So, and a couple of exercises. One good exercise is just playing 16th notes. Now I'm playing with my heel up, so I'm playing with my toe. I'm kind of snapping it like my wrist does, you know, like I'm not going. I'm making one motion with my leg. It's all in the ankle. See? So that's a good exercise. That's a good one by itself. 16th notes. It's hard to do that for a long period of time, especially when you haven't had pasta yet. So those are good standalone exercises. Of course, I like this one. Left and a right. Left on the snare, right on the floor tom. See? trick to this, as I always explain, is it's got to be steady. Even this slow. If that's too fast, as long as it's steady. Nice and steady. So the reason why it sounds good is, I'm going to move this over a little bit, because it's steady. You gotta be steady, and it sounds more powerful, it sounds more professional. With anything you play, especially that. Another thing to practice is the dynamics, which is the level of the volume. So if I play that lick, same lick, I'm going to play it lower. I'm going to get lower, and I'm trying to make the bass drum as loud as the toms, vice versa, or as low as the toms, like this. See? So that is dynamics, and what that would do is develop control of your foot. A lot of control of your whole playing, actually, but especially your foot. Because you got to think ahead. You got to go, okay, when I'm on that second one, the next one's low. That's what your mind's going to be thinking. So it's good, but just do it slow. But it's a lesson in dynamics. But it's good control, right? Good control. So one more thing you can practice too is moving over to a different sticking without hearing it, you know. So if I'm just playing the same lick here, left, right foot, I'm going to go to two rights instead of left, right. I'm going to go right, right. So I got this. That's another thing to practice too. Those are transitions, you know. And then you got different stickings too. You got the left right. You can go to right left. Creates a different sound. I'll do it slow. You see, I'm changing the sticking, but I'm not interrupting the flow. The flow is nice and steady. You don't want it to interrupt it and sound like this. You don't want that. That's extreme. Play it nice and steady. There's a lot of things you can do with this particular lick, which is just two with the hands, two with the foot. One of my favorite is this. See, so I'm going right, left. Left is on the tom. And then, so, right on the snare, left on the tom, right on the floor, the tom, and 2 on the foot. Slower. Faster. So those are some great combinations. Another thing that you can do to make it sound really slick is I'm going to just do right, left, foot on the snare, like this. And then 2 sets of 16th notes at the end of that. Sorry. Okay. And the 2, and the 3, and the 4. Actually, 1 set of 16th notes, which are 4 16th notes. Start mixing them up. So what you're doing is you're just mixing these up, and then ending with some 16th notes. You know, so it's the whole rhythm of it is 16th notes. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and I got a lot of those, you know. So that's some really cool exercises and stuff. And that'll develop your foot, you know. Your foot will get stronger, and you'll learn, you know, how to make it sound heavier or more professional by playing it steady. So check out the metronome. The metronome's always good. That stuff. Easy to play on the smaller drums. The singles. These are singles spread across the drums. You could start on the toms, or you could start on the snare. You got 2 different sounds. See, that's playing melodic, listening to your fills and seeing, hearing which ones are work in, you know, in the right place in the song. You know, this one sound more aggressive than subtle. It's very subtle. So those are some tricks and tips, and then this is the cocktail kit. Check it out online. It's on sale. It's a great sounding kit, and you could fool a lot of people thinking it's a big giant drum set when you do some recording with this stuff. So with these kits. So check it out on sawtoothworld.com. And ladies and gentlemen, we have La La Lollipop in the house.
Hello.
Hello. I don't think she wants to come to the camera.
No, not today.
Because she got a facial today.
Yes, I did. Keep care of my skin.
Yeah, and she's got no makeup on.
No.
And all that stuff.
Oh my
and,
God.
you know.
No.
Poor these women have to in the morning get up and we wash our face, the guys, and shave, whatever, that's it. And then rubbing stuff on, put makeup on, whatever. And then when the day's over, you got to take it all off. Oh man. All right, so if you got any questions, I forgot to mention that earlier, send them in. She's going to read them to me, and I'm going to answer some questions, all right? And And check online for all the specs of these drums too, because there's some really good specs with the rims and the lugs and everything, you know. So check it out. And the heads, I should point out, are Evans. They're not the stock heads. I took those off. The stock heads are on the bottom. These are Evans G2s. Actually, and the snare's a G2. Gives it a little bit more of a warm sound, rather than since it's a small drum, a white head brings it into it's a bit more crispy, you know. And this sounds a lot more rock. So it seems to work good on this small little 13-inch snare. Okay, Lala, you got some questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what do you got?
Do you ever get nervous before playing a concert?
Not anymore. Nah, you know what? You know what would get you more nervous is the waiting before you're going on. Like, okay, let's go. Like in the festival, yeah, all right, let's go. And then for the festival, you'd have to get in the van, and they drive you to the stage. You know, the total rock thing. Go up the stairs, and you're ready to go on, but somebody's announcing stuff. It's like, oh, come on, we're ready now, you know. But I used to get nervous. I remember my first gig was March 17th, 1970 at a church dance. I even remember the church. It was St. Francis in Brooklyn. And, excuse me. And, man, I was shitting before I went on. Now, I was 14, I think. 13. And I was looking at the side of the curtain, and they were announcing something. I guess that never ends. And my heart was going, and finally, the name of the band was Molly Graves. Hello. And I played like this. I didn't look at the audience. I was looking there. I was looking down. Oh my God, there's people there. Yeah, I was really nervous. But now I don't really get nervous. Now I'm more comfortable when I'm up there, you know? And because I've been playing so long, it's like this is like a natural thing for me. I'm not bragging or anything. It's just so comfortable for me to get up and play, you know? And unless it sounds terrible in the place. But I love playing, and you got to love playing. You got to have the passion for it and all that stuff, So don't get nervous. It's best to warm up a little bit, you know, on a pad or whatever. I use my side of my shoe. Warm up and then, go up and try to relax. You know, bring up a cappuccino, a little croissant. Yeah. Okay, next.
Out of all the years of playing, do you ever have hearing loss?
Oh, shit. What?
What?
Are you kidding? Who said that? Who asked that?
I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Yes, of
Just
course.
say what?
What?
Oh, yeah. You kidding? I've been playing like this since 1976. Like when I started playing really professionally with Rick Derringer, I had monitors. They didn't have in-ears back then anyway. And then, you know, and the bands were always kind of loud, and that's the way I played. And then I went into Sabbath, and forget it. You can't play that stuff, you know, with little monitors, or I don't know if you can play it with in-ears or what, but the power being big monitors. When I first joined Sabbath, I had two like refrigerator-sized monitors. They were called Harwells. These things, there was no sub, but they kicked ass, like boom, you know. So it's perfect for Sabbath. But definitely suffered hearing loss. I got a hearing test a long time ago, and she's going, well, here's your mid-range, and here's your high end, and went all the way down. So now what you do is when you go to a hearing test, they put the headphones on, and you're supposed to raise your hand when you hear stuff. So what you do is you just keep raising your hand.
No, that's cheating.
You
Yeah,
go like
wanna
that.
hear.
Yeah,
That's cheating.
yeah. Louder.
No.
So, yeah, I definitely suffered.
Do you play with earplugs?
I play with earplugs, but they're very small rubber plugs that cut out the top end, so I always do that. And they help, you know, because sometimes they'll fall out, and I'll go, wow, it's toppy. And I'll look, and there's my earplug on the floor. So now it's like, okay, how do I pick that up without mixing up the beats in the song and disrupting it? So that's always fun. Okay, next question.
Oh, somebody said Carmine was on Ed Sullivan on Sunday night. We missed it.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Dang it. He's on the Ed Sullivan show.
Ed Sullivan show on Sunday night. What they did was they took clips from all the Ed Sullivan shows and they put together an hour special. It's not in continuity. The Vanilla Fudge were on then. That could have been from a show where somebody else was on as well, but they just put it all together. And yeah, that was God a long time ago, and they played that live. That was live. Vanilla Fudge playing "You Keep Me Hanging On." That was incredible. I remember watching it as a kid. I was a little kid. That's my brother on TV, because Ed Sullivan was a big giant show back then. And I got nervous for him, you know. I'm like, oh, my God, what if he drops a stick? What did I know, you know? So they were fantastic. I'm sorry I missed that. Damn. Next.
Since Viv is out with Def Leppard over the summer, what are your plans?
I'm going to get a long beach chair and a Corona.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll have to see. I mean, there's a few rock camps coming up that I'm doing. They want me to go back to Europe and do this thing I always do, which is I have a great Sabbath Dio band over there. And we play some old Sabbath and Dio and new Sabbath, you know, with me on it. And it's a lot of fun, especially the old Sabbath stuff. So I do a lot of that, too. So they want me to go back, but I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the world. And, you know, I don't want to go to Europe and get stuck there with, okay, there's a lockdown or whatever there is. So I'll have to wait and see. But I'll keep busy, you know. And what I have to do this week is put up the Christmas lights.
Oh.
I don't like that. And you know what? 2 doors down, this guy, it looks like it's a small world after all. He's crazy. But he does a great job. It's so many lights, so many effects. I should set the drums there and do a concert. It's insane. And then next door here, Brian, my neighbors who had all the brunt of the bass drum when the room was in there, they did a great job too. And now I'm without lights.
The pressure is on.
The pressure is on. I really don't. You know what? I don't like doing things like that where it's temporary. I like things like, okay, if I'm going to put lights out and it's going to be permanent, do a good job. But I got to take them down and stuff. I was thinking of putting a drum set up there and lighting it up.
Somebody will steal it.
Somebody might steal it, and then it might rain, and I don't want to bring attention to, hey, there's some drummer in there playing. I hear him. Unless I play like this. Then they wouldn't care, right? Okay. I like that one. Okay, another question?
How do you like the longer kick drum?
Well, for this drum, it's fine, the longer kick drum. But it's not that long. It looks longer. It looks huge.
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
an optical.
It's an optical, amazing fairy dust thing going on there. This is only 16 inches long.
And what size is a bass drum?
16 inches by 16 inches. 16 by, I think it's, I gotta measure it. Yeah, it's 16. It just looks like 18 or 20 on there. So this drum works for this. If it was any smaller, the drum would kind of sound a little more tinny. So this is a good size for this drum. You know, this is a 10 by 10. That's, I think, 16 by 16. 14 by 16, Tom. And, yeah, so I like it. This drum's fast. That's a good way to practice, too. playing the same patterns. There's two. Two with the hand, two in the foot. 4 in the hand. And then 6. Put them all together. That's a good way to practice because you can really hear what your foot's doing. So another way to do it. All righty. How about another question, Lollipop?
Tacos or meatballs? What's for dinner?
You know what? We got leftover Italian food. We went to the restaurant that has giant meatball. So there's some of the giant meatball left. There's spaghetti and there's lasagna.
Yeah, a lot of food.
Right, a lot of food. They had.
Food.
We went there and couldn't even eat it all. So I think that's what it's going to be. And you know, I just don't want to eat too much the holidays. I can watch the desserts. So that's what we're doing tonight. Let's take one more question.
Okay, here's your last question. Ever have to take a poop in the middle of a gig?
Yeah. You know what? I think one time in England somewhere, I don't know, playing with Ronnie. And I don't know, all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom. And we ended the song, and I went, Ronnie, I'll be right back. Just talk. And I ran off the stage and ran up. The bathroom was far away, too, and just had to go. Yeah. That's like, who said that?
I don't know. I don't keep track of the names.
Was that Heidi?
No, I don't think so.
Was that Paul?
I
No,
don't remember.
Paul wouldn't say that. No, but it's true. You know, it's like, you know what? Before you go on stage, you got to make sure you go release yourself. And you don't want to be up there and go, man, I got to take a leak. So, but I know drummers who took a leak while they're playing. Actually, my brother did a long time ago. So I think I might have asked him, what happens when you got to go to the bathroom, Carmine? I was a little kid. Well, son, you just go in your pants. Well, what are you going to do? You know, it's just like I've seen, and I don't think I had to throw up while, like, you really don't feel good. And in between the song, then you turn around and you start playing. So I told you, you know, when you see the drummer doing this, or this way, you know what that is, right? Everybody, it's like universal fart on the drums. So I'm sorry I got into that, but what the hell? You're here from entertainment, right? Okay. So anyway, we're at the top of the hour, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back next week. I'm going to be on the big kit, maybe the other kit. I don't know, but not this kit, because we switch them around. And check it out online. It's the cocktail kit on sawtoothworld.com, and it's on a very, very specially low priced $2.99. And it rocks. And it rocks. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Everybody be safe. And it's, December. Tomorrow's December, right?
Yep.
Holy moly. So it's time for Christmas. I better get those lights up. I'll let you know next week. All right, you guys take care. I'll play a little bit.